It's taken some time to get here, but we are ready for our first ever match in the Champions League. We are having a UCL debut, in this series at least, against AC Milan away from home today, and then we follow it up with a nice easy game at home to Manchester City? Oh, this isn't going to go well. Hi everyone, Jake here, welcome back to the series. Hopefully you're all doing well. As I've said in that intro, it's going to be a pretty tough day today. We're going away to the San Siro to play AC Milan in our first Champions League match in what is not a very easy group at all. And then we have Manchester City at home in the Premier League, followed by Liverpool in the Carabao Cup. Today we'll be doing the Man City and the Milan game, but it is a bit of a tough schedule coming up. We played very well so far though, all of our new signings doing very well, and despite a bit of an injury crisis, I think this is a pretty positive start to the season. In terms of the transfers, we didn't do anything else after the last episode. We actually managed to sign a new deal with Wilfred Ndidi, whose contract was running out. No one came in for him, and he was happy to stay, so we offered him a new deal on the same wages, I think, until 2028. So if we do sell him now, we'll get a lot of money for him, but we can start to plan around one of the best defensive midfielders in world football. And then we decided to give a contract to Kaglar Soyuncu, whose deal was also running out. He was asking for a new one, and I thought he's played well enough to deserve one. Been very good for us since we started this series, and so far so good for this whole squad this season, because as you can see, we've won every single match in the Premier League so far. Granted, all of them are winnable games. Away to Palace, then home to Southampton. I'd want to win that. Hudson-Odoi and Shoulder Up scoring there. We then beat Middlesbrough 3-0, which I would expect again. And Ndidi, Calvert-Lewin getting a goal, which is great, and James Maddison. And then we beat Forest away from home 3-1, with Berardi getting 2. And everyone on the pitch is contributing. Because of the squad we've got now, we can interchange players and still have a very strong lineup, and that is going to help a lot today, I think, for this AC Milan game. But you can see we do have a Champions League group now. It is a very tough one. We've got Copenhagen, who are the only team that I think we should definitely get some points against. We've got AC Milan in there as well, and Barcelona. Now, Milan last year, did they win the Serie A? They did, so they're Serie A winners. Barcelona were runners-up in La Liga last year as well, so we've got a lot of competition in this group, but we're one of only 2 teams who have won every game so far in the Premier League, having played 4 games, and the other team is Manchester City, who, of course, we are playing today, so that's going to be a very interesting one. Fulham and Wolves still doing very well in the Premier League. Manchester United in the relegation zone after 3 losses in 3 matches. Obviously, we can't judge too much yet, but if we can beat City today and be the only team that's won all 5 games, we could be on for, maybe a title race. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but it's certainly not out of the realms of possibility. I just think top 4 should likely be our aim this year, considering we'll be competing in Europe as well. But having covered all of that, I think we just need to get into the 2 games today. Barcelona have beaten Copenhagen 1-0 in their first game, and this is actually my first glimpse of what the Champions League is like on FM23 with the full licensing. But let's pick our squad for this match. Bayandir, yes. Castagna and Mitchell, yes. Soyuncu and Sotalo, possibly. I think I would like Victor Nelson on the pitch though, so I'm going to go with him. Actually, I feel like in a game like this away from home at the San Siro, Sotalo might be the better man. I don't know what it is about him. I just think he might have more of a defensive nous in this match, but we will see. Ndidi starts in midfield with Soumare. Dewsbury Hall is still out injured, and then we have Berardi and Barnes. I mean, Barnes has been in good form. Berardi also playing well, but if Maddison's available, I've got to play Maddison, right? Where is he? There he is. Yeah, Maddison's been in great form. I can't drop him, even if Berardi has been playing well. And then it's Calvert-Lewin and Daka up top. Iheanacho and Vardy both out injured. I haven't even been able to use Jamie Vardy yet this year, so that's a bit of an annoying thing. A few striker injuries recently meant that we had to play Berardi up front in our last match, so hopefully we won't have to do anything like that today. But let's get into the game and our Champions League debut. Very excited for it. A massive thank you, by the way, for all the support on the series so far. Season 2 started off with a bang. It was our most watched video since, I think, episode 2 of the series, so seemingly a lot of new people have gotten bored, or at least a lot of people have came back. So if you are one of them, hello, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like the video if you do enjoy, and subscribe for more. Here we go. Here is how the UCL looks. That does look pretty cool, to be honest. Is it going to show our team as well? It is, and I really like this actually. It does look very, very slick. And I do wish everything was like this in FM in terms of the graphics. It looks so much better. One thing I can't believe I haven't mentioned yet though is the fact that we have reached 10,000 subscribers on the channel, which is Absolutely fantastic. We were a couple hundred subscribers away, but I started doing some shorts on the channel in the off days where I'm not uploading these main Leicester videos, and that's helped the channel grow quite a lot, so I'm very grateful for that. I'm very grateful for all the support. What is Bayandir doing there? Well, he's managed to save it, we're okay. But yeah, I'm very grateful for everything. I am going to make a sole video talking about the 10k milestone, so I won't speak too much about it just yet. Let's focus on this match and the UCL debut, because, I mean, it's a pretty big deal. I do love the way this is all laid out, though. In the top left, that does look very nice. But so far, it's a lot of Milan pressure, a very good AC Milan side. This will not be an easy game at all. And they've gone close again. They're piling on the pressure. This isn't a game I'm expecting to win or even get points in. For me, my idea is that we beat Copenhagen in both of them games, and maybe in our home matches against Milan or Barca, we can pull something off. But away matches at the Nou Camp, at the San Siro, are not going to be easy. But 21 minutes in, despite some pressure from AC Milan, it is still 0-0 and everything is still to play for. And here's the first highlight with us. Going forward, it's James Maddison. Oh, he hits the post. He does very well, though, to get in behind. Castagna does well to play him through. And that's a great sign to show that we can get in against this Milan team. They are very aggressive. I mean, looking at their team, there we go, let's pull it up. Hernandez was getting forward a lot, and that makes sense because he is a complete wing-back in this match. Tomori is also going to be very hard to get past at the back there for them. But so far, so good. 33 minutes in, they've had the majority of highlights, but we look like we could get a goal on the odd opportunity, and we might have one of those opportunities now with Daka, who finds Wilfred Ndidi. From long range, he strikes it over the bar, and I thought this would be the kind of calibre of team we would have lost Ndidi to, so I'm very happy that we have been able to keep hold of him, because I think he's going to be top draw for us going forward. Now that we know he's sticking around, I don't have to worry about replacing him. To let you know what was going to happen if he did leave, we had Moise Caicedo from Brighton lined up for 34 million on a release clause deal. I also had Enzo Fernandez on a shortlist, as well as a couple of others. But yeah, we would have had adequate replacements for Ndidi, but I am very happy he's staying, because whether you think he's amazing in real life still or not is another question. In Football Manager, though, he has got phenomenal attributes for that ball-winning midfielder role. And Harvey Barnes might have just given away a penalty. Looked like a pretty clear one to me. I don't really know what he was doing there or why he decided to jump in, but I'm pretty certain this will be a penalty, despite the fact that Barnes has been our best performer in the attack so far. It's going to be Theo Hernandez against Altay Bayandir just before half-time as well. Will be a little bit heartbreaking, and he does score into the top corner. A very well-taken penalty. His first goal of the season, and that kind of means that we've got to tear up our half-time notes. If only Barnes hadn't stuck his leg out, we would have been going into half-time very happy. As for now, though, I mean, it's not been awful if we look at the statistics. Possession is in our favour, but Milan are cutting through us like butter and having plenty of chances. We're lucky it's only 1-0, to be honest, and we might have to change something. Maybe not even on 60 minutes, maybe a little bit earlier here, just to try and give us some more attacking emphasis, because right now, we don't have enough. Samare is having a very poor game. I don't want to risk Dewsbury Hall just yet, so I'm going to bring on Sander Berger. I'm also going to take off James Maddison, who's having a poor game for Berardi. We'll bring on Hudson-Odoi as well there. Maybe against my better judgment, Daka's going to come off. I'm going to put Berardi up front, and I'm going to keep on the poorly performing James Maddison. I just think he's got something in his locker to maybe pull us out of this game. Actually, no, I'm going to change my mind again here. I'm going to take off Maddison, bring on Shoulder Up, and have Berardi there. So that's 4 subs we've used. We still have 1 more. Is anyone playing particularly bad? I mean, Sotalo's not being great. Let's give Nelson the chance that I was originally going to give him and see maybe if those fresh legs can cause a little bit of a difference for us. All we need is 1 chance. If we can steal a point away here, that'll be massive in our Champions League campaign. And I'd love to get to the knockouts. Obviously, Leicester have done it before. After they won the Prem, they got into the Champions League knockouts, and I think even got past another round and maybe went to the quarterfinals. I feel like they beat Sevilla or someone like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they did do very well in their first ever UCL campaign. Now it's our second one, and we'll hope we can also reach the knockouts, because if we do, it'll be massive for us. If not, I'd hope to at least finish 3rd place in the group and go in to that Europa League space and maybe actually push for a Europa League win. But the end goal of this series is winning the Champions League, so the longer we're in it, the more experience we can get, the more money we can raise for the club. It's going to help a lot in our goals and also build our reputation so we can attract the better players to the team. 15 minutes to go though. It looks like it might be a stretch too far to win this match. Only the one real highlight for us. After that, it's been all AC Milan, and they are still building up the pressure. But Victor Nelson steps in well. He finds Sander Berg, who tries to find Berardi. He does well. Berardi with a chip shot. It's gone in. Domenico Berardi scores. He's like very much a makeshift striker, not someone I'd be using up there naturally, but he's done very well for us. I thought I brought him on in the right midfield position, but seemingly he's up front. I'm not going to complain though. He has gone and scored with a brilliant finish, brings it down on his left and then chips it over the goalkeeper. That's a fantastic goal. Obviously, Berardi's used to playing against AC Milan, having been a Serie A mainstay for a past decade, really. Great to see his experience is helping us out there, and that point could be massive for us in our Champions League campaign. It might not feel like much right now, 1 point, but I think we're going to look back and be very thankful that we got the draw away here. Not the prettiest of performances, but we came away with a very good point, and now let's move on to that Manchester City match and see if we can stay at the top of the Premier League. This is something interesting as well, by the way. I don't think it will develop into anything just yet, but we've had it 3 times now this season already where there's been transfer rumours taking place, even to the point that when I go on Club Vision, it does say there's a takeover in progress. It says it's very unlikely to happen in all the news rumours, but maybe we'll get a takeover here. So maybe it will happen. Maybe it will bring us loads of funds. I just hope there is no transfer embargo when we get to the January window, because if we do keep in this title race position, which is a lot to say after only 3 games, then, we could really use the reinforcements and attract some real talent to the club. I'm sure we'd get offered more money to spend too. After a bit of tinkering, this is the team that we're coming up with for this match. Bear in mind, they've only had a few days to prepare after Milan. I did want some rotation. It's still Bayindir in goal, but it's Pereira at right back, a very capable backup to Castagna. Soyuncu and Nelson make up the centre-backs with Justin at left back, and Didi and Dewsbury Hall, who comes back from injury for his first appearance of the season. Recommended 60 minutes. I'll try and get the most out of him that I can. Berardi and Hudson-Odoi on the wings, and then Daka in the pressing forward and shoulder up top. I'm giving Calvert-Lewin a little bit of a break, but Calvert-Lewin has played every game so far this season, so he will need a rest at some point. At first, Daka was injured, then Vardy, then Iheanacho when Daka came back, so he has played every single game, so a bit of a rest for him, even if it's just coming on off the bench, would not be a bad thing at all. But Manchester City's team still looking very strong a year on here. What I didn't see yet is if Erling Haaland's on, but I'm sure we'll find out in a second, and it is him up top. You can see him, a very striking figure at the top of the pitch. He finds Phil Foden, Ilkay Gundogan, and I'm sure Gundogan, and they are going to now look for Haaland's run in the middle. Grealish though, tackled by Pereira. Can we win it back before it becomes too dangerous? It looks like we might not here, because Man City are building up the ball very well. Soyuncu tries to head away, but City keep the ball. Daka though does intercept after a very long bit of play from Man City, and maybe we can break away with Berardi now. Berardi finds shoulder up. He gets him behind, shoulder up, one-on-one with Ederson, takes it round him and taps it into the empty net. Ederson dived far too early there, but shoulder up does fantastic with his pace on the break. 3 minutes in at the King Power, we are 1-0 up, and that is a massive, massive boost for us. I thought we'd be miles away from topping Man City when you looked at us halfway through last season, as you would of course. But of course last year we did play them towards the end of the season and we did very well. I think it was a draw because of a late equaliser from Man City. So it gave me confidence that we might be able to do something against them in a one-on-one match. But if we can keep this up throughout the course of the year, who knows where it might take us. I mean, I keep saying title race. We're probably a long way off having the squad capable of doing that. But this is Football Manager. We are Leicester City. If anyone's going to make a miracle, it will be us. Here's Kyle Walker, though, at the back with Ruben Diaz. And that was how we got the first goal. A bit of a lapse of concentration from Diaz did allow shoulder up to get in behind. Haaland very isolated at top there for City. And we do win it back off him. And Didi fires the ball forward to Berardi, who does take it down well. He's playing really well here. He finds shoulder up in behind. It could have been 2. It could have been the same goal twice over. Berardi's left foot playing through shoulder up, but this time Ederson makes a very big save for his team. But shoulder up does look like he can really fit in that advanced forward role. Ideally, he'd be an inside forward on the left, but he can play anywhere along that front line and do it better than most could. But considering we're only 15 minutes in here, we've scored 1 and had a massive goal scoring chance. You really couldn't ask for too much more, but maybe on the 30-minute mark, they're about to give us another thing to smile about, because Dewsbury Hall, who's playing very well since coming back from injury in this match so far, pinging passes about every time that we see him, which is something we have been lacking. He was playing the ball forward, but eventually we've ended up losing it. Pereira wins it back though, tries to steal it away, but Cancelo gets in to Grealish, but Grealish gives it away. Again, more good play from Dewsbury Hall, but he then does give it away. Haaland's in. Bayindir came out of nowhere. No. Oh, thank God, it's gone wide. I mean, it was a very good sweeper keeping from Bayindir at first. You have to say it. He's a sweeper keeper on the attack. He stopped Haaland being in behind there, but then he kicks it right to Phil Foden of all people. If he didn't hit that on the volley, he probably would have scored, but he went for the spectacular. We're very grateful for it because 45 minutes in, we are 1-0 up, and so far, so good, pretty comfortable. The good thing is as well in this game is that we've got plenty of good players on the bench that can come in and would in most cases be a first team starter. So I think it's about time we do that, particularly to protect Dewsbury Hall. I'm going to bring on Sander Berg in that roaming playmaker role. I'm actually going to move him over to ball winner and bring on Soumare to give us a fresh central midfield. Justin not playing great, so we'll give it to Tyrick Mitchell for the rest of the match. Harvey Barnes can come on for Callum Hudson-Odoi, who despite a good first few games hasn't played as well since. And then I think we're going to bring on James Maddison for Domenico Berardi, who despite being involved in pretty much every highlight is only on a 6.5 rating, so clearly he's just having those big highlight moments and then doing nothing else outside of that. But our subs are on. Hopefully they can make the difference and keep us in this game and hopefully get us a win. I say they're on. I don't think they are on yet, are they? Are they on the pitch? I can't tell. Yes, they are. Tyrick Mitchell's there. Finds Soyuncu, cuts it out well, and Pereira's going to try and knock it forward to James Maddison. James Maddison comes inside to Daka. Back to Maddison, but Cancelo comes across. Obviously, when you're playing a team like Man City, they could kill you in 1 minute of brilliance, and that is what I'm afraid of, so I would really like a second goal here. But again, it's Man City. They're not going to concede easily, and they do look like they might have a good chance here with Foden. He's going to cut it back. Bayern makes a great save, and of course, that man is there. He is always there. 9 goals already this season for Erling Haaland. We've kept him very, very quiet, but the balls just trickle to him, as it seems to do on a lot of occasions on Football Manager. He is like a magnet, and he finishes well. I guess the only thing we could really complain about was this. With Foden, we really should be stopping him getting in behind so easily. After that, it's kind of out of our control. Bayern does enough to stop Foden, and Haaland's just in the right place at the right time to poke it home. A little bit heartbreaking, but we know that Man City can do that. Tyrick Mitchell has been injured and we've used all 5 subs. This is not good news at all, and we are going to have to adjust tactically very quickly. So I think I'm going to drop Harvey Barnes back, because I don't really have too much else of a choice there, and bring Maddison into the middle and just see if we can hold on for those last few minutes. I'm not going to adjust the mentality. I never do. Usually if I keep on positive, things don't go too badly. I'm going to look stupid now if they do score, because we've got a highlight as soon as I've said that. But I never like switching it to very defensive. I feel like it just invites pressure. Against a team like Man City, I'd rather still have the chance to break away should we get it. But it does look like it will be a City highlight. Shoulder up though, does well to press and forces a ball backwards. Diaz goes across to Laporte. Man City are just knocking it around for fun. They do find Haaland. Haaland is in. Haaland does score. That wasn't really anything to do with us having players off a pitch. That's just an incisive pass. He gets in behind. He smashes it home. And all that talk of a title race I was doing, it's soon disappeared, hasn't it? The big Norwegians just completely destroyed any hopes or dreams that we had. I guess you could argue if we had an extra player on the pitch, we might have closed it down quicker. But what can you do? You make your 5 subs, someone gets injured. I know I probably should have saved a sub, but I never do it in FM. I just use all 5 at once. And now we are 2-1 down. And it looks like City might be going for a third. But Maddison steals it back. Here's Sander Berg. Soumare finds Daka. Daka's in. Off the crossbar. That was a really big opportunity. A lot better than he made it look. I really wish Daka had taken that chance, but it looks like Man City might be going for a third here. Pereira does well though to intercept. He's going to bomb down the wing, I hope, and put a ball in. He ends up losing it to Grealish. It looks like he's very tired out there, Ricardo Pereira. Haaland's in behind again. He's taking it around Bayern. It's a very good stop from him. I would have thought he was offside, but apparently not. And it looks like it's just going to be a 2-1 loss. A little bit disappointing, but what can you do in a game like that when someone gets injured out of nowhere after you've made 5 subs? It's a bit heartbreaking. But you know what? We weren't expecting to win both games today. I would have taken a draw in the Champions League. I would have liked to have got something at home against Man City. But Man City are going to be the team that we're chasing, not just this season, but for this whole series as we try and take the Premier League back to Leicester City. And we're not going to get a storming win in only our second year here just yet, but I'm sure it's coming. We need a little bit of time, and this Man City team will get taken down a peg. I can feel it. It's just not yet. Erling Haaland is carrying that team forward. 10 goals this season already for him, but that is the end of today's video. Hopefully you have enjoyed it, guys. If you have, smash the like button, subscribe for more. Thank you very much for getting us to 10k. As mentioned, I'll talk more about that soon. But most of all, have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Thank you and goodbye.